Hey, so glad you guys are here. Again, real estate, not a big deal. How many of you are excited about getting into the career of real estate? Very, very excited? What's so exciting about it? What's so exciting about it for you?
The money.
The money. What about the money? What would you do with the money if we were handing you a whole bunch of money?
I'd invest it.
Oh, gosh. Would anybody buy? What's the first thing you would buy? What do you got?
I'd buy a house.
You'd buy a house. Yeah. Listen, real estate, oh my gosh. It changed the world for me. It changed my life. Real quick. I used to be a school teacher. Some of you know this, right? Making 28 G's a year, $28,000 a year, and I was cool with that. I was okay with that. I was raising my 3 boys on $28,000 a year, and then I got into real estate. Talk about the money. I had no idea until it was handed to me how much money you can make in this business. I had no idea. Close one deal here, close one deal there. You get excited. You taste victory, and what happens when you taste victory? You want more, and you want more. Before you know it, you're making, in some of the deals, I was making more money on one deal than I would make a whole year as an educator. Not bad. And at the same time, as far as I was concerned, I was still teaching. Who was I teaching in the real estate business? Who was I still teaching? My clients. I was teaching the buyer how to buy, and I was teaching the seller how to what? Sell. So in a sense, you guys, once you get your license, you're not only going to be an agent, you're going to be, believe it or not, you just don't know it, I'm telling you now, you're going to be an educator, you're going to be a counselor, you know that, right? You know how many hugs you're going to give them? I hope you got huggers in here. You're going to have to hug some of your clients who are going to need it badly. You're going to be a friend. Some of these people are going to be your friends for a lifetime. You're going to be all kinds of things to these people. They need you. And at the end of the day, after 30 to 45 days, which is the typical time for a what? For an escrow. After an escrow is closed and it's recorded, is that a good word or a bad word? That's a damn good word. And once it's recorded, after you've done all you can for your clients, they're going to say, okay, the commissions are in. Here you go. Here's your check. And all you did was you were good to people. And you hustled and bustled and you did your thing as a real estate agent. Can you guys handle that? No, seriously, can you handle that? Along with this comes money. It comes a career. It comes money and comes trips and all the stuff you want to do with the money. Ladies and gentlemen, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to do this? Let's get started. I'm going to show you how this stuff works. Let's do this. For some of you, this is a review. Take a look up here. You should have gotten an online message saying, welcome to the program. Did you get that? Good. You should have got an online saying, welcome to the program. This will provide you with access to all of your online quizzes and exams. Have some of you taken your exams yet? How did you do? Good. All that's online. Do it at home. Good luck to you. I'm sure you'll be fine. Upon passing your 3 online exams at home, you're going to be giving your 3 what? Certificates. With those 3 certificates, right through that door there is the BRE. BRE stands for Bureau of Real Estate. They're the ones that give you the exam. Right in there, they're having a big party, and you're invited only if you have what? Those 3 certificates. They're in there, they're cranking the music up loud, and you're invited if you have those 3 certificates. Here with this training, I'm going to show you how to dance. We're going to cha-cha. We're going to disco. What else you want to dance? What else you want to learn? Mango. I thought that was a fruit. Did you mango? Tango, you mean tango?
Flamenco.
Oh, flamenco. I thought you said mango. Right? Flamenco. All that stuff. Anyway, you're going to be pretty close to an expert as far as understanding the concepts of real estate. Got it? Nice and easy. This is what you're going to get with the program as far as the training is concerned. As far as the state is concerned, you got to pass 3 exams. No ifs, ands, or buts. The state says you have to pass practice. You got it? You have to pass what? Practice. No ifs, ands, or buts. The state says you must pass principles. You have to pass what? Principles. No ifs, ands, or buts. The third one you have to pass is, anybody? An elective. An elective. And there's a whole bunch of electives. The electives that we have chosen for you, well, I have chosen for you because I have been in this business a mighty long time, and I think you would benefit from it, is finance. Now, I'm not talking about finance working, computing on numbers. I'm talking about finance getting along with a lender, knowing what the lender is going to do for you. Why is it important to know what the lender does?
He's the one that gets the money.
He's the one that gets the money for the buyer. How many of you guys in this classroom right now believe you might have a buyer who wants to buy a house right now? That's quite a few of you. Are they going to pay cash? No. Probably not. Which means we're going to need a what? A lender. That's the lender. The lender is going to be the one that's going to help your buyer buy what? The house. Got it? This is why it's important to know what the lender's doing. He's going to be on your team. He's going to help you. Let's make sure we know what they're doing. In this training session, we're going to learn the concepts in terms of real estate. Nice and easy. When we get to the basic concepts in terms of real estate, ready? Here it comes. Wait for it. Wait for it. When it comes to the concepts and the terms, a $5 bill is a $5 bill. Say it with me. A $5 bill is a $5 bill, which means it is what it is. Study long, study wrong. Study long, study wrong. What does that mean? It means it is what it is. Don't overthink it. If I was to tell you if I was to tell you RPA, residential purchase agreement, just stick with me. That's just simply an example. Residential purchase agreement. Oh my God, I've never heard this term before. What is it? Residential purchase agreement. A $5 bill is a $5 bill. Residential purchase agreement, what is it? It's an agreement. With me? It's an agreement to do what? To purchase. To purchase what? A residence. Boom, we call that an offer. See how easy that was? A $5 bill? Hey, you like that, huh? A $5 bill is a $5 bill. Let's try another one. How about a residential listing agreement? What is it? It's an agreement to do what? To list. To list what? A residence. Are we going to represent a buyer or seller with that? A seller. We're going to list his property. When you get to the concepts, every time we come up to a concept or a term, I want you to remember, a $5 bill is a $5 bill. It ain't $4.89. It's not 501. Study long, study wrong. Study long, study wrong means don't overthink it. It doesn't mean go home and don't study. Study like crazy. It means don't overthink it. All right? Nice and easy. We're going to talk about real estate experiences and advice that I'm going to give you after 20 years in the business. Your typical everyday agent activities. This is important right here. Typical everyday activities. How many of you want to make it big in this business? I mean, like really want to make it happen. Ready? Here it comes. I'm going to give this gift to you right in this platter. It's called RAD, R-A-D. Think RAD. Remember that, some of you? Think RAD. R. What does R stand for? Reasonable. Think reasonable. What does A stand for? Active. Stay active. There's 3 ways to make business. There's 3 ways to make money in this business. 3 ways. You can wait for it. You could buy it, which is market yourself. It's going to cost you tons of money. And most of us that just get started have a budget. We don't have too much money. So you could wait for it, you could buy it, or you could go get it. You got it? 3 ways to make business. We got R, which is reasonable. We got A, which is what? Active. And we have D. What's D? Delegate. I want you to delegate, which means I want you to get help when it comes to a deal. Meaning when you got something in escrow, don't try to do it yourself. You're going to have a heart attack. There's people that can help you. Who's going to help you? 10. T-E-N. 10. Who's T? Title. Who's E? Escrow. Who's N? NHD company. Simple as that. You want to make it in this business? How many of you want to make it in this business? I want you to think RAD. When there's a problem, when there's a challenging situation, you don't freak out. You just don't. You think reasonable. You fix it. And of course, we're going to go over contracts and some disclosures, which are very, very important when it comes to a deal. All right, let's get this party started. You guys sure you want to do this? Because once I get to the next one, this is it. You guys ready? You're going to get addicted to this stuff. I'm not kidding. I got addicted to real estate. I mean, you really do. It gets fun. It gets challenging. It gets exciting. You guys ready? Let's do this. All right, let's get started. Here we go. Look at the very top there. Buyers. What do buyers want to buy? Look at me. What do buyers want to buy? A house. From now on, when I point to this door, who is over here? When I point to this ugly door, I want you to say buyer. Who's over here? Buyer. When I point back there to that beautiful opening back there, we're going to give that to the who? Seller. Back there. Back there. Over here. Your job is to put these 2 people together. You're the real estate agent. You're going to put these 2 people together. What does the buyer want to buy? What does the seller want to sell? What does he want for his money? What does he want for his house? Money. Your job is to put these people together. Now, once we put it together, we are now in a legal and binding contract. You did this. You as an agent put these people together. We're now in a legal and binding contract. We have to have a company babysit this thing, take care of it, make sure every stipulation in that contract is executed. We have to have somebody to do this. Let's give it to the person here, debt center. Now I want to point to this debt center table. I want you to tell me it is escrow. You got it? So far, so good? Nice and easy. Escrow will handle all the paperwork. Escrow's job, ready, is to protect. It's been created. You created this. You created a deal. Their job is to protect the integrity of the transaction. Third, a neutral third party that protects the integrity of the transaction. A neutral third party that protects the integrity of the transaction. Are you with me? You're going to see some definitions that are this long. I've shortened it down for you. With me. A neutral third party that protects the integrity of the transaction. Boom. And then we have somebody over here. Who's over here? Lender. From now on, when I point over here, we have the lender. Lender helps out who? Seller or buyer? Lender helps out who? Seller or buyer? Are you sure? Yes. Good. Lender says, hey, buyer, you want to buy a house? Buyer says, of course I do. Come on over to my office. He invites him over to his office right here. Have a seat. Would you like a cup of coffee? Yeah, I'd like some coffee. Cream and sugar? Absolutely. Cream and sugar. We'll get to talk to each other. The lender. Communication. That cup of coffee is important. It gives you about 5-10 minutes to get to know each other. A cup of coffee is nice. Anybody here like coffee? Nobody likes coffee in here? I love coffee. Yeah. Yeah, use it. 5-10 minutes to get to know somebody. Communication. Who's over there? Over here? Big time important communication here. Seller wants to sell his house for some money. Real estate agents, you guys put these two people together. Escrow company is a neutral third party that protects the integrity of the transaction. Lender's over here. He helps the buyer out. Last but not least, look at the bottom there. That's a good one. Look at the bottom there. Prospecting. That's the name of the game. We talked about RAD, R-A-D. What was A? Active. Which means you got to go out and find people who want to buy or sell a house. You with me? If you know the contracts upside down, backwards, and all that stuff, you're going to be a good contract knower. Is that even a word? You're going to be a good contract, a pro at the contracts. But without any clients, without prospecting, you aren't going to make what? Any money. You'll be a professional contract person. The whole idea is to get prospects. To get prospects, and what's the third one? To get prospects. You got it? That's the name of the game. It really is. Without prospects, there's no business for you. All right, here we go. That's just the introduction. You guys good? Any questions on this? You sure you want to go on? Here we go. Now it's going to get official. All right, let's do this. I'm glad you guys are here. You guys excited about this? Good. Let's go. Here we go. Up top here, general financial terms. This whole session, this whole module for the next 3 weeks is going to be focused over here. Who's over here? Lender. Lender's big time important. We're going to find out what happens over here. What goes on over here? But let's start off with general terms. Up here, currency. You guys know what currency is, right? A country's official unit of monetary exchange. Nice and easy. Interest. What is interest? What you charge somebody to borrow money. You want to borrow money, it's going to cost you. Who's over here again? Who's over here? Lender. Hey, buyer, how you doing? You want to borrow some money? What, you want to buy a house for $1 million? Fantastic. Come on over, do the application. Guess what? You are approved. Going to have to charge you interest. We're going to lend you the $1 million, but I'm going to have to charge you. Anybody know what the interest rate is today? 3.5. Is it? 3.5. 3.5? Something like that. It's been pretty darn low, huh? Compared to 20 years ago. Oh my gosh. 3.5 is pretty darn good. Yeah, that's good. Primary mortgage market. Back over here. Who's over here? Lender. When lender sits you down and he offers you a cup of coffee and you guys can talk and you guys can compliment each other. Hey, nice tie, by the way. How's the wife and kids? This is called the primary mortgage market. What's the key word there? Primary. What's the key word there? Primary. What's the key word there? Primary, which means the first. Client's the first on our list. We're going to take care of them. Primary mortgage market right here. Are you guys as realtors involved in the primary mortgage market?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Positive?
Yes.
Good. If you're positive, say yes. Is that primary mortgage market? Yes or no?
Yes.
Are you involved in it? Yes, because you're going to take your buyers. Hey, you want to buy a house? Yeah, Rico, I've been dying to buy a house. Here, let me introduce you to my lender. And you walk them over to the lender. Hey, I'd like to introduce you to my buyer. He's interested in buying a house. Can you please research to see if he qualifies for a home? Primary mortgage market on the surface. This is definitely important to you. Are you kidding me? Where are your commission checks going to come from? Let's break this down. Where are your commission checks going to come from? From closing a what? A deal. You put the buyer in the deal. The buyer gets approved by the lender. Lender gives him the money. He goes and finds a house. He pays the seller off. Deal is over. It starts with this guy over there. You get that? It starts right there. Does everybody get qualified for a loan? No. Does everybody get approved for a loan? No. How many of you here have bought in a house? Did you get qualified? Did you get approved for a house? How did that go? How was that experience?
Stressful.
Over there, what was it?
Stressful.
Was it?
Yes.
Why? She says it was stressful.
They need a lot of paperwork.
They sure as heck do. How much were they lending you? Don't answer, I was just kidding. But when they lend you money, isn't it important that you really, really qualify for the loan? I mean, they really want to get paid back. Isn't that reasonable to ask for all that paperwork? Of course it is. Of course it is. They do a lot of stuff over there. We're going to get to see all that. All right. Debt. Debt, of course, a dollar amount that is borrowed from the bank and what you owe back. Secured debt. Banks over here, lenders over here. They say, okay, listen, we're going to lend you the $1 million, but it's going to be our secured debt. The house is going to be our secured debt. If you don't pay back, what happens? We get the house. We want the house back. Does that sound reasonable to you? Of course it does. Last but not least, equity. I want you to think of the word equity. How many of you have heard of the word equity? What do you think? Is it a good word or a bad word? Is it really? Yeah. What does it mean? Talk to me. What does it mean? What do you think it means? What? It means value. It means value. How many of you here who said you have bought in a house believe you might have equity? Are you happy about that? You have tons of equity? A little bit of equity? But you're not upside down. Equity is a good thing. Equity is a darn good thing. Are you kidding me? Many of us have sold houses and we've cashed out. What did we cash out? Our equity. Many of us have taken loans on our house using our what? Equity. Equity is a good thing. All right, I wanted to introduce you to the buyer's triangle. I created this about 10 years ago, and it makes sense. I love this diagram here because it's simple and it's self-explanatory. I used to have a buyer once, and the buyer over here was not getting the documents like you were explaining. My buyer was not getting his documents over to the lender. And when the buyer's not getting his paperwork over to the lender, how does that make the lender feel? How does the lender feel? It pisses him off. It ticks him off. He says, hey, buyer, send me this. Hey, buyer, send me that. And he's not sending it to him? How is the lender going to feel? He's going to feel very, very upset because all the lender's trying to do is help who? The buyer. I'm trying to help you get your house, and you're not giving me what we need to close this deal. My buyer wasn't doing that. He wasn't communicating with our lender, the big guy on our team. So I had a meeting with my buyer. I sat him down in one of our conference rooms. And I said, hey, listen, we got to talk here. I got a call from our lender who said, you're not giving him what he needs as far as paperwork is concerned. I said, what are you doing? I said, do you want the house? And he said, of course I want the house. I said, then why aren't you handing over the paperwork? He said, well, I've just been busy, this and that. I said, listen, this is the way it's going to work. And I grabbed a sheet of paper and I grabbed a marker and I drew a triangle. I said, in this whole dynamic of buying the house, there's 3 people involved here. These 3 people want you to win. At one point of the triangle was the buyer. Another point was the who? The lender. And the other point was the who? The realtor. These are the 3 dynamics that are going to help you find this house, well, buy the house and get it done so I can hand you the keys. So anytime the lender contacts you, you need to communicate with him and give him everything he wants. Are you guys with me? Well, in this case, the lender wasn't getting it. So the lender did what? He called who? He called me. See this here? He said, hey, realtor, how you doing? Hey, I need some help, man. I'm not getting anything from this guy up here. I said, you got it. What do I do? Had a meeting with this guy and said, what's going on here, man? We need to get this thing wrapped up. Do you not want the house? He said, of course I do. I said, then start getting your stuff over to the lender. The buyer finally got it. I don't know what it was. Was it a visual? I don't know. He got it. And then he started getting better at getting his paperwork over there. Do you think this was helpful? It was, just to understand how important it is. These are the main characters when it comes to buying a house. What's the most important part of this triangle? Communication. What's the most important part of this triangle? Communication. What's the most important part of this triangle? Communication. Now, when it comes to the deal, take a look over here. There's going to be all kinds of people involved in the deal. The lender, the underwriter. Some of these are new terms for you. Don't worry about it. When it comes to the lender, over there, he's going to have an underwriter in his department. He's going to have appraisers over there. Don't worry about it. Just there's a lot of people involved. Escrow is going to be involved over here. These people are going to be involved in the deal. You're going to have seller disclosures. The seller's going to be involved giving us paperwork. We're going to have escrow involved, title involved, NHD. We're going to have all these people involved in the deal. But of all these people involved, which relationship is the most important? The one with the triangle. Without that triangle being intact, all those other ones that I just mentioned mean nothing. You get it? Without that triangle, if that triangle is broken, the deal goes south. If the deal goes south, what happens to these people here? Everybody goes home with empty pockets. Do we want to go home with empty pockets? Of course not. These people here, and some, are depending on you guys to keep this together. You got it? They're depending on you to keep this together. Because if this breaks apart, it falls and it shatters, no mas. It's over. And they're like, how did you not keep this together? And they're going to blame you. They say, doggone it. It's as simple as communication. All right, let's go. The nature of real estate. Real estate's really cool. Real estate, the good thing about real estate is people get involved in real estate. Buyers buy real estate for two reasons. Typically for two reasons. Number one, to make money. You guys get that, right? How many of you here are investors? Have you ever bought a house just to invest and you rent it out? How's that going for you? Good. Renters are paying the rent? Beautiful. Anybody else? How's it going? Good. Renters are paying the rent? Anybody here have renters who don't pay their rent? I did. Yeah. Yeah, that sucks, doesn't it? Yeah. And so it happens, so you find somebody else. Yeah, I had that too. But it's good when it's being rented and it's happening. It's cash flow, which is good. So we do it for money, whether it's investing or you sit in it and you live in it and you grow in it and your kids grow up in it, and after 10, 15 years you make tons of money. That's good. But the other reason we do it, aside from profit when you sell it, is the bundle of rights. Now what's the bundle of rights? Now that's not the Bill of Rights, it's the bundle of rights. The bundle of rights. We do it for the money, and we do it for the right to do what we want to do in that house. You got it? What do we call that? The UPT. We call it, I want you to call it the bundle of rights. So we do it for the money, and we do it for the bundle of rights, which is called UPT. UPT. The U stands for use it. You have the right to use it. I bought this house here. This is my house. Fantastic. If I make money with equity in 10 years from now, I get to keep the whole equity. I also have the right to the UPT, which is the bundle of rights as long as I live here. U is use it. I have the right to use it how I want, how I wish, as long as I'm not breaking the law. You get it? Can I grow a big old marijuana plant in there? Of course not. Well, maybe soon, huh? Isn't it going to be legal soon? I'm just kidding. All right. So you have the right to use it as long as it's doing nothing illegal. P, you have the right to possess it, which means you have the right to live in it. And if there's somebody in there you don't like and they're not owner, you have the right to kick them out. You got it? What's U? What's P? Possess. You have the right to T, transfer it. The owner of this house has the right to give it away if he wants to. He has the right to sell it. They have the right to will it. They have the right to transfer it. We have use, possess, and what's the T? Transfer. Then we have the right to E, encumbered. Does that sound like a good word or a bad word? In this case, it's a good word. We have the right to borrow against the property. You get that, right? We have the right to, this is my house here. And you know what? I got about $500,000 in equity, which is good. I bought it for $1 million. It's now worth 1.5. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? It's a fantastic thing. You know what? I think I'm going to put a pool in the backyard. I'm going to go over to the bank, any bank you want, and I'm going to see if I can get a home equity line of credit or a home loan for $50,000 so that I can put a pool in my backyard. Anybody ever do something like that? Nobody's ever done something like pull out the equity of your house? I did. I put a pool in my backyard once. It was easy. Had the equity. I was able to encumber it. Got a loan on my house. Nothing wrong with that. As long as I make the payments back, not a big deal. Last but not least, you have the right to enjoy it. Ladies and gentlemen, we call all this what? Up top, what is it? The bundle of rights. You have the right to get the equity, and you have the bundle of rights. Is this all making sense to you? So far, so good? So far, so good. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. All right, good. Type of estates. Stick with me. Stick with me. Type of estates. We're good? We're good? Type of estates. There's two types of estates I want you to know. An estate simply means, if you look up there, an estate is an ownership interest or claim a person has in real property. Simple as that. This is the estate here. This is my estate. Now we think of the word estate, and what do we think? We think of big, giant, massive. It doesn't have to be. An estate simply means you own the house. That's your estate. It could be a small one, it could be a huge one. It's your estate. This is your estate. When you own it, ready, here it goes. A $5 bill is what? $5 bill. Study long, study wrong. Freehold estate is the first one I want you to know. Freehold estate. Look at the word freehold. How do you hold it? Freely. And when you hold something freely, do you have the ability to do whatever you want with it? Yes. Can you paint the walls black? Yes. Sure. Can you break the windows if you want? Yes. Sure. Can you put the carpet, can you have a carpet that's, I don't know, what color is funky carpet? Can you have green carpet? Sure. Hope nobody here has green carpet. I didn't mean to. Yeah. Sure, you can have any color you want. It's your house. You hold it how? Freely, which means you are the holder of a freehold estate. Does that make sense? Simple. Somebody who has complete maximum ownership of a house, freehold estate. I could paint the walls black. I could have a green carpet. What else would be weird? I could have the backyard all dirt if I want, whatever you want. That'd be funky, but you know, you do what you want with your estate. The next one I want you to know, wait for it, is less than freehold estate. Less than freehold estate, which means you don't hold it how? Freely. You don't have 100% complete ownership of the place. You just don't. This is what we call renters. This is what we call renters. How many of you here are renting? You are holding that estate as less than freehold estate. How many of you here are owning? How many of you here own? You're holding your estate how? Freehold. Not free. We're all free. It's USA. You're holding it how? Freehold estate. If you're renting, you're holding it how? Less than freehold estate. Now, this is the question. Ready? Here goes a trick question. I'm throwing it out there. Here's a question. I'm throwing it out to you guys. Freehold estate. Bill of Rights, yes or no? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. Think about it. Freehold estate. Bill of Rights, yes or no? Yes. You sure? Yes. Bundle. What did I say? Bill of Rights? Oh, God. That was the trick question. Yeah. I had that planned all the time. Yeah. Freehold estate. Bundle of rights? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. Positive? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. Last chance. Are you sure? Yes. Good. Yes. I wanted to keep going down. Yes. Less than freehold estate. Bundle of rights? No. Are you sure? Yeah. Partial? Partial. Let's go. Let's do this. How many of you are renting? Those of you who are renting, do you have the right to use it? Yes. Do you have the right to possess it? Yes. Which means you can keep people you don't want out, right? Yeah. How many of you who are renting have the right to transfer it? No.
Yeah, you could sublease.
Well, that's not transfer title.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, title. Yeah. So you can't do that. How many of you who are renting have the right to encumber it?
No.
You understand? Yeah. You understand? You're looking at me like, yes? How many of you who are renting have the right to enjoy it? Yes. Do you have all the rights to UPT? No. Do you have all the rights to the bundle of rights? No. How about the Bill of Rights? Yes, we're all Americans. Yeah, right. Yeah. So understand that. Freehold estate, how do you hold it? Freely. You get all of the bundle of rights. Less than freehold estate, partial bundle of rights. You got it? Less than freehold estate. Do you get to benefit from the equity? But you live in there, you're taking care of it. Why not? Because you don't own it. You're, in a sense, borrowing it. For what? For money. In exchange for money. I want to borrow your house for exchange of money. All right, good. You guys are getting it so far? Fantastic. Real estate cycles. Oh, this stuff gets good. Real estate cycles. Oh. Since the late 60s, early 70s, the real estate world has always had cycles, real estate cycles, which means it goes up and down, up and down, up and down. But in the long run, from the early 1960s, 1970s, it started down here. In the long run, it ends up here. You guys understand that, right? Mm-hmm. Starts here, ends up here. Now, in between here, you're going to have what we call your peaks. Is peak high or low? High, because a $5 bill is what? $5 bill. Peaks are high, and we're going to have your troughs. Troughs, high or low? Low. So you're going to have these in between. But at the end of the day, The best investors in the world say that the most certain investment in the world is real estate in the long run. How many of you here have had your properties more than 20 years? Anybody have a property here more than 20 years? Nobody's had a property more than 20 years? More than 15 years? How did it go for you as far as when you bought it to what it is now?
Yeah, it's doing okay.
It's doing okay. We'll go to an example of my parents' house. My parents' house is not far from here. It's in Culver City. They bought it back in 1974. They still own it today and actually still live in it today. That's a heck of a run. That's 42 years. Can you imagine somebody living in the same house for 42 years? Oh my God. I'd go nuts. 42 years, same walls, same everything. When it comes to the equity, here it goes. They bought it for $25,000 bucks. Yeah, 1974, $25,000 in the long run. It's pushing 900,000 to $1 million bucks now. They owe zilcho on it. You tell me, was that a good investment? Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so. $900,000 of pure equity. How would you like to have $900,000? That's not bad, huh? Now, mind you, in between there was a few scares. There was a few scares. What happened in the mid 2000-ish, 2005-ish, 2006-ish? What happened? Crash. Remember the crash? So sure, instead of being worth $900,000, it dropped to $700,000. Still a lot of money. Still a lot of money, right? But that did happen to a lot of people, and it scared the hell out of everybody. If you own a house, it scared the hell out of you. It scared the hell out of me. We have your expansion and contraction. Expansion, is that a good word or a bad word? Expansion sounds like a good word. Expansion sure is when the economy is booming. Contraction, that sounds like a good word or a bad word? Contraction means hold back, right? It's a recession, right? We didn't want to call it a depression back in 2007, 2008, right? No, don't call it a depression. Don't call it a depression. That sounds much too bad. Let's call it something real pretty. What do we call it? A recession. Let's call it a recession. All right, we'll take that. Expansion is an increase. Contraction is a slowdown. And then we talked about peaks and trough. Take a look at this one here. This is typically how a real estate cycle works. We have the recovery over here. Then it has the expansion. The way we just discussed it comes all the way up until it reaches the very top. What do we call the very top? Peak. Doggone it, but look what happens after the peak. What happens after the peak? We have oversupply, and then it starts to drop. And when it drops big time during the recession, remember this? 2007. How many of you were affected 2007, 2008? Were you? Yeah, me too. Sorry to bring that back up to you. Let those memories go, man. Sorry. Get it out of your brain. Then the recession hits. Ah, what a bummer. But that's typically, I want you to look at this. That's typically how it works when it comes to houses and the value of houses. A lot of you guys here who own properties actually went through a whole thing just like this. A lot of you guys had properties that were actually way up here. And you guys rode the wave. 2007, you bought them way up here, 2007 came around, and it dropped all the way down to here. Am I bringing back bad memories? Sorry, but I have to teach the class, right? So it came down here, right? But if you held on to it, you experienced this finally. You experienced this finally, huh? How many of you held on to it? Ah, good. Because the majority of the people didn't. The majority of the people did what? They got foreclosed on or got rid of it. They're saying, the economy's killing me. I can't sleep at night. But luckily, some of you really, really loved your houses, and you held on to them, and you rode the wave. And you rode the wave. And you rode the wave. Now I ask you right now, where do you think we are now when it comes to the housing industry as far as this where? Somebody says we're in pink. What do you guys got? Where do you guys think we are? How many of you believe we're at the recovery? In here. How many believe we're in expansion? Huh? Which one? Light green. This one? Somebody said mid-green? Anybody think we're here? Yeah, you think we're here? Those of you who think we're in the high in the bright green, give me your reasons. Why do you think we're in the bright green? What do you got? What do you think? This is no right or wrong answer. Just
Coming, who knows what's going to happen.
elections coming. Oh, you got to bring that up. Elections are coming. Okay. Anybody else?
Very low inventory.
Say it again.
Low inventory.
Low inventory. That's a good idea. That's not a bad factor. How many of you believe we're in this one? Those of you who believe we're in this middle green, you're telling me that you think there's still going to be time for it to go up even more?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think? You're making a face like I'm nuts. What do you think?
I
You think we're on this side?
I mean, we're heading a little bit more towards that side.
So you think?
Not yet, maybe we're like.
Do you think we reached the peak yet?
It depends on it.
Hold on. I want to get her opinion as a realtor and independent contractor. I'm going to have a question over here where I'm a buyer. Who's over here? Buyer. I'm going to want to buy a house with you, and I'm going to say, hey, do you think I should wait, or do you think we're at the top? What do you think? You think I should wait? These are the kind of questions you're going to get. Now you have to do.
I mean, we're not talking yet.
What? Talk to me.
Yeah, I think we already hit the peak.
She thinks we already hit the peak. She thinks we're past here and that we're on this side here. I don't know. Anybody else? What do you got back there?
Interest rates are critical.
Yeah, interest rates are low right now.
I know.
So where do you think we are on this? Don't change the subject. Where do you think we are here?
I think we're in the light middle green.
Right here? I think I agree.
Between those two, maybe the black line between the light and the middle.
Right here? I think
That up and down.
this one here.
The vertical.
Oh, this line here.
Yes.
Got it. Oh, I see. You think we're going from 1 to 2? Right here.
One more over.
You think it's one more over?
And where do you think we are?
How many of you believe we're on this side? No? No, you're right. I personally believe we're right in here. I'm a bit hesitant as to what's going to happen in the next couple of years. You're right.
I think it depends on where you live as well, in what state you're in.
California.
No, I know, but where in California, I mean, not state.
Oh, where in California? What county?
Yeah.
We'll talk, how about LA County? Los Angeles County. It's always pretty hot. Meaning the market's always pretty good. Right? Well, per the statistics, and I'm going to show you the statistics coming up right now. After I show you the statistics, you tell me if your mind has changed as far as, is it still going up or is it going down? You guys ready for this? You understand this concept?
Yeah.
Good.
I have a question.
Yes, question.
Will you talk about factors of oversupply?
Absolutely. Yeah. Factors of oversupply. When the housing industry is oversupplied with houses, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, no, it depends on for who, right? Is it a buyer's market or a seller's market? Buyer's market. Oversupply means it's a buyer's market. Is that a great time for investors to get involved? Absolutely. That's what happened in 2007, 2008, 2009. So many foreclosures out there. The investors were eating these up. They were buying them by the dozen. I mean it. I had one investor who was doing it with me. I was representing him. He was buying 10 houses and just, hey, Rico, find me one house every month. You got it. Oversupply is fantastic for investors because the whole idea of real estate, ready? Real estate 101, just stick with me, is to buy what? Low and sell what? High. Oversupply happens when it's very low. Oh yeah, happens all the time. How about when we have no supply, like now? Do we have supply now? How's the inventory now?
Very tight.
Very tight. And when there's a little bit of something, what happens to value? How about gold? A little bit of something has got value. How about houses? A little bit of something has got value. Goes up. This is why this is so important. You're absolutely right. As long as there's not inventory or low inventory, I've seen buyers outbid each other. I saw a couple of buyers in Westwood. They were buying a house in Westwood, or a house was for sale in Westwood. They wanted $1.2 million for the house. That was the average price. That was the median price in Westwood, $1.2 million. It eventually sold because there was so many people wanting this house, outbidding. It finally sold for 1.5. All they wanted was 1.2. Well, you want to give me an extra 300,000? Hell, I'll take it. Talk about no supply. Talk about low inventory. When there's low inventory and all these people want it, what happens to these people over here? They start outbidding each other because there is no supply, low inventory. Oversupply, investors love those days. Anybody here take advantage of the oversupply? How many did you buy?
Only one.
Only one. All right. How many did you buy?
3.
He bought 3. Did you make out pretty good?
Definitely.
Good for you. The word, absolutely, rocket style. Absolutely. Yeah, good. We're good there? All right. This is the national numbers for the real estate cycle. From 1999, we'll call it 2000, to 2015. From 2000, we'll call it the last 15 years. This is national. This is not the California one. This is national. The median price of a house was way down here. Went up like crazy. I remember in 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, if you sneezed, you made money. 2005, you made money. 2006, like, man, making money. And then boom, we got a sign here. We start getting signs that, uh-oh, what's going on here? Look at this piece right here, like, whoa, what's going on here? It became very volatile. What's going on? Uh-oh, that was a hint. That's a what's to come. And then what happened towards the end of 2006, 2007? It's right there. I need to say no mas. There it is. What happened? Now the thing is this, was it a gradual drop? Because a gradual drop would have been kind of nice, wouldn't it? Right? It's like when somebody's, when you're throwing a party and somebody's not going to show up, it'd be nice if they call you maybe the day before, hey, I'm not showing up, huh? But when they call you 10 minutes beforehand when you're expecting them, it's kind of like, oh, man, that was kind of rude. This was horrible. We'll call it rude, man. This is rude. Nobody told us about this. How come they didn't warn us? There was no warning. There was no warning. How many of you, if you knew this was going to happen, would have sold your houses? Of course. If we knew this was going to happen, there wasn't any inclination that this was going to happen. None at all. Check it out. Boom! Almost overnight. I'll never forget it. I would be home watching TV commercials. You guys might remember this. And how many commercials were on TV then of companies saying, we can help you with your foreclosure. We can help you keep your house. We can help you do this. Remember those days? All those commercials? We can help you modify your house. Don't lose it. We can help you keep it. I actually felt pretty good because I wasn't the only one going through this. Isn't it kind of neat when somebody else is going through the bad stuff like you are? You're like, oh, right on, I'm not the only one going through hell. Everybody else is going through hell. That kind of makes you feel better. I'm glad you guys are having a horrible time because that makes me feel better. It sounds horrible, but it kind of did feel nice that the whole nation was going through this. That sure as hell was happening. There it is. Luckily, we got over it. 2010, 2011, 2012, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Where are we now? How much higher can it get? Are we going to repeat this again? How often does this cycle happen?
8 to 10.
You think? Who said that?
Me.
Is that what you think?
I think so.
That's your opinion? She says 8 to 10. Anybody else? What do you think? How often does this cycle occur?
12 to 18.
12 to 18. Well, that's a long time. Anybody else? It's up to your opinion. Anybody else? What do you think? Some people say 4 to 6. I don't think so. Yeah, I think you're pretty good. I think that was about 8 to 10 years. The crash happened in 2007. We're almost at 2017. But they say the economy is doing fantastic, so who knows? Now, when you get these questions from your clients, who's over there? Who's over there? And they're going to look at you right in the eye, and they're going to say, so, do you really think this is a good time for me to sell? Or your buyer's going to say, do you really think this is a good time for me to buy, or should I wait? You got to have an answer. What's going to be your answer? All right. My recommendation is to say this, because you got to say something when you don't want to lie. Is if I had a crystal ball, I'd tell you all I know, but I don't. Let's go over here to this guy. Who's over here? If he asks you, is it a great time to buy, you're going to say, yes, it is a good time to buy. Why? Interest rates are low. You guys know what's going on with rent? Rents are going up. You might as well get a house and make a mortgage payment so you can qualify for the tax advantage instead of giving it away to a landlord and never seeing it again. So is it a good time to buy? It's always a good time to buy, especially if interest rates are this low. Is it a good time to sell? Sure. Why? Because the inventory is low and it's a seller's market. You'll max out on your property. Just don't make the mistake I did. I should have known better. Don't make the mistake I did. What did I do? I sold high. And I had to go somewhere to live, and I bought high. Oh. I sold high and bought high. Didn't do me any good. Sold high, made my money, put all the money into a new house, so I bought high, and then I experienced this with my new house. Boom. Oh. If I would have just sold high, held on to my money, rented for about a year, and then boom, I could have probably bought a house cash. Learn from my mistakes. I'm going to share my mistakes with you throughout the modules. Sell high, buy what? Low. Sell high, buy what? Low. Sell high and buy what? Low. Real estate 101 again. All right, let's move on. I want to show this to you. This is a fantastic map with numbers that gives us an idea as to what's going on out in these cities here in Los Angeles. Now these are numbers from fourth quarter 2014 to fourth quarter 2015. The latest quarter for this 2016 aren't out yet. These are the latest statistics from the fourth quarter of 2014 to the fourth quarter of 2015. Give me areas where you guys live, please. Anywhere you guys want to. Santa Monica. Santa Monica from 2014 fourth quarter to 2015 fourth quarter went up 16%. Is that good or bad?
That's great.
Not bad. That should give you some ideas as to are we going to continue to increase or not. Any other areas you guys want to know? Culver City. Culver City right in here, up 24%. Good or bad? Anybody else?
Glendale.
Glendale doesn't go that far. Anybody else? Venice. Venice, up only 7%, but it's up 7%. Anywhere else? Mar Vista. Mar Vista, up 10%. These are I love this chart. This map. It's great numbers. Gives you an idea as to what's going on. Anybody else? What do you got? Where do you live? You guys live anywhere? You guys live? Downtown LA. Let's go over here. Downtown LA. We've got Silver Lake. Let's see here. Here it is, downtown, up 23%. Have you been to downtown LA lately? Looks nice or what? Looks beautiful. Looks what a change. Let's go here. Let's go some random ones. We got here Pacific Palisades, up 20%. Cypress Park. Anybody know Cypress Park? Up 48%. Hollywood, up 5%. West Hollywood. Anybody know West Hollywood? West Hollywood. That's a good one, up 25%. Bel Air, anybody here? No? Yeah. Bel Air, up 26%.
What's Beverly Hills?
Beverly Hills. That's a tricky one. That's a good question, Beverly Hills. Beverly Hills is up 75%. 75%, but there's a reason for that. When you don't have much activity in an area, the numbers can be a little deceiving. Right? Let's, for example, say if one house sold this last year for $3 million and only one house sold this year for $6 million, that would be up 100%, right? So there's not enough inventory to really get a true value as to what's going on in there. But according to the numbers, the latest numbers, up 75%. That's a lot.
Are those comparables?
Yeah. But not enough activity in there to really get a true, yeah. But that's the actual number when you put it into the computer system. Mid Los Angeles, 27%. Let's see here. North Inglewood, up 8%. Westchester, any Westchester? 13%, up 13%. Westwood, Century City, 14%. Anywhere else you guys want to know? Let's see here. Playa del Rey, we got it over here somewhere. Here we go. Playa del Rey, up 20%. Who's got Playa del Rey? You own a house in Playa del Rey? So far, so good, 20%. Marina del Rey, up 96%. Same reason as Beverly Hills. True value here, let's see here. Brentwood, any Brentwood? 19%.
Does this remind you of 2006?
It does. This is why I'm a little skeptical. Not only am I only skeptical because of 2006, because it hit me hard in 2006. It makes me gun shy. It makes me like, oh, I'm very, very cautious now. Mind you, in 2006, I had gotten into the investing business, investing in real estate, a little too late. I got into it 2004, 2005-ish. So I bought my 5 investment properties. You bought 3, I bought 5. A little late. So when the market did crash, I lost all 5. So because of that experience, I'm a little skeptical as to what's going on. I'm a little nervous as to, I'm just sharing with you guys. When do you eventually say, you know what? We may have not hit the top yet, but there's enough profit that if I was to get out now, I'm happy. When do you finally say, am I taking a risk by waiting more and more and more? Because if you wait too long, what may happen? Just like a roller coaster, what may happen? Right, and once it reaches that peak, is it worth the risk? Keep that in mind if you guys are investors. We're good? All right. Real property, now we're going to change the channel. Real property versus personal property. Nice and easy. You guys probably know this. Nice and simple. Real property is land and house. Assume this is the house. The land it sits on, real property. The airspace above it, the minerals in the ground, and the water rights, if there are any water rights, if there's a well or something, that's all part of the real property, including improvements. Let's assume I'm going to buy this house. The real property is the land it sits on and the improvements. Question is this, is the house an improvement? Yes. Of course it is. So the house is real property. You guys understand that, right? the house is real property. Land includes the soil and rocks that stretch to the center of the earth. Airspace up to a reasonable height. Minerals, real property unless someone removes them. That's a good one. Minerals in the ground, real property. If I take them out and put them in a bucket, they just became what? Personal property. Nice and simple. And then we have the water rights, of course. Fixtures. I like fixtures. Fixtures. You guys ever heard of the word fixture? If something is attached to a house, key word there is what? Attached. If something is attached to a house, you just made it what? Real. If you attach something to a house, you just made it real. Look at this thing up here. What do you call this again? A projector. Is it attached? Real or personal property? Real. You get it? What if I take it off, and I unscrew it and take it off, and I place it right here on this table? Is it still real property? Are you sure?
Yep.
Positive?
Yep.
Good. If I take it off and put it on the table, it just became what? Personal property. Good. If I have it on the table and I put it on something, it becomes what? Real property. We call that annexation. Just know that. We call that annexation. I have something that's personal property and I attach it, it just became real property. Yes?
So like a refrigerator or something?
Good question. How about a refrigerator? Real or personal?
Personal.
Why is it personal?
Because it can roll in and roll.
Because what? Well, it can be moved. Real, it's not attached. Real property is attached. Real property is what we call immovable. You can't move it. Can you move a refrigerator? Is it attached? No. Trick question. Are you sure? Are there some refrigerators that are attached? Built-ins. You guys ever see a built-in? Those Sub-Zero ones, those big massive ones? Real or personal? Real. Here's what I want you to do. This is why this training session is so awesome. Oh, I love it. Because when you're making an offer, who's over here? Buyer's over here. And he says, hey, Rico, make an offer, man. I want this house so bad. And when you showed them the house, they walked in and like, whoa, wow, this is a nice house, man. Thanks for bringing it. Oh, I can't wait to use this thing here. Hey, honey, look. They got a projector. I can't wait to get this house and we can have movie night with popcorn and have the kids here. It'll be so cute. I can't wait. And then you close the deal. And they come in, they walk in and say, honey, let's have our movie night tonight. Oh, my God, they gave us the keys. We're so excited. And you go, it's gone. But it's supposed to be there because it was what? Real property. But just because you know it's real property, just because this team knows it's real property, it doesn't mean that that team knows it's real property. Now, sure, the contract says that it's real property. The contract says it's real property. It says it in font this small, but it says it's real property. And we should all know as realtors that it's real property. But not all of us are as good as others. So because that, our job is to protect who? The buyer. So to protect the buyer and make sure he gets that, although we understand that it's supposed to stay, the best thing to do is what? When in doubt, write it out. When in doubt, write it out. Not because you want to be right, because you want to make sure what? They get what they deserve. You got it? You know you're right because it's already in the contract. They may not know about it. But you want to make sure it's there so when they have their popcorn ready and they have their video, whatever video they want, Spider-Man or whatever they want, or what's that? Titanic. I love the Titanic one. Or Titanic. You guys ever see Titanic? Tell me that's not a good movie. It's a great movie. Yeah. You can sit down there and watch it because you know it's going to be there. Because if it's not there, who's going to be very upset? The buyer. And who are they going to expect to replace it? You. Because you screwed up. Now, technically, you didn't screw up. You were right. You knew. I knew it's in the contract. Oh, I know they're good because it's in the contract. Yeah, but you didn't protect them enough. They didn't know, so when they moved out, they took it. When in doubt, write it out. So they read it when you wrote it out. They sign it when you wrote it out. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's staying. That makes sense to you? Protect yourself. More importantly, protect your buyer, huh? How would you like to walk into a house thinking you're going to get a built-in barbecue in the backyard and you can already smell and taste the steak on there, and then you show up and it's gone? I've seen that happen before. Yeah, they leave the brick there, but they take away the actual grill. Oh, great! Now what am I going to do? Right? I've seen that happen. And guess who has to pay for that? The realtor. The realtor feels obligated. Doggone it, I should have put it in the contract. I know it's supposed to stay. All I had to do was simple, was put on any lines you see that are available. All I had to do was put built-in barbecue, be specific, including the grill, to remain with the sale. Anything like that, write it down. Seller signs it, it's done. Play it safe. When in doubt, write it out. All right. Take a look at this. I do want to show you a video real quick that explains how this works. It's a very simple video. So once I press play, we'll go ahead and do that.
So you're thinking about writing an offer on this house.
Yes, but I don't know what I'm writing an offer on. Like, is it the house? Or the house and all the stuff in it? What stays and what does the seller take with them?
Everything stays except for personal property.
Okay, but how do I know what personal property is?
Personal property is anything that can be picked up and carried away without unscrewing it or detaching it from the house. So flowers planted in the ground come with the house, but flowers in a pot are personal property because the pot can be carried away without detaching it. Another example of personal property would be a doghouse, but if it's screwed into the deck or attached to the house, it's supposed to stay with the house.
If I like any of the seller's personal property, can I ask for it?
Yep, you can write in items on your offer, and then you and the seller can negotiate them just like any other terms in the offer.
What kinds of personal property do people generally ask for?
Buyers sometimes ask for the fridge, the washer and dryer, a lawnmower, even furniture.
What if I really, really like the seller's dog?
All right, we're not saying it's a great idea, but it's not unheard of for the seller to leave a pet. We would suggest drawing the line at asking for the seller's child, unless they have a teenager, and then they're probably negotiable.
So now we understand the difference between real property and personal property. The stronger it's attached, it's more likely that it is going to be what? Real. The stronger it's attached, the more likely it's going to be what? Real. Got it? Good. Let's move on. Quick test for you guys. Take a look at these. See how good you are. Let's go to the first one here. I want you to tell me real or personal, and I want you to tell me why. Raise your hand, please, on this one. We have here a basketball court. What do you got?
Personal.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Why?
Because you can roll it away.
What's that mean? What do you mean you can roll it away?
Movable.
It's movable. Got it? It's movable. We can move it around. Nice. Good job. Yes or no? Yes. Next one. Chandelier. Anybody? Raise your hand, please. What do you got? Real. Why? Attached. How about these chairs?
Personal.
Together. Personal or real? Good. Sounds like we're all in agreement. Next one. What do you call this? A jungle gym. Real or personal? Hold on. We got an explanation over here. Somebody wants to make a point. What do you got?
Probably cemented in.
She says it's probably cemented in.
Well, it's not easily moved either.
It's not easily moved either. Can we take these apart? I've never had one. I have no idea. Now, here we go. I've sold many houses, okay, as a buyer. I'm the buyer's agent, and we walk into, oh, Rico, I love this house. We'll make an offer. Yeah, we'll make an offer. Oh, my God, look what's in the backyard for the kids. Is that a jungle gym? It's a jungle gym. I wonder if it stays with the house. What did I do? Wrote it out, right? And luckily, the sellers were saying, hey, we weren't planning on carrying that out anyways. Yeah, you can have it. But some of them, I've had one where the seller actually took this apart. Has anybody ever bought one of these? I think they're kind of expensive. Yeah, where they actually took it apart and took it with them. So I would, if I were you, would play it safe, write it out. The way I see it, it doesn't look like it's on cement. It looks like it's just there. If it were me, it looks like it's personal property because it's loose, and you could probably, if you're strong enough, you could probably move it or take it down. Make it clear, put it in the contract. That was a trick question. That's a good one. How about this one here? Together, real or personal? Good. It's a refrigerator, personal. How about this one here? An apple tree. You sure? Good. How about this washer and dryer? That didn't sound like many of you answered that one. You guys are unsure. Real or personal? Are you sure? Why? Somebody tell me why. Because you could. Can you move it? Good. Because you can move it. How about these windows? That's a good one. How about these windows? What do you call these? Shades? Shutters. How about these window shutters? You sure? Why?
Screwed in.
Good, because they're attached, screwed in. Yeah. Not just that, yes.
I've actually had that though.
You had what?
Where they've taken them and they're fitted. See, it's like, where are they ever going to fit anywhere?
Exactly. Her remark was that she actually had this happen. Were you the seller or the buyer?
I own the houses.
You own the houses?
No, I bought the house.
You bought the house and you moved in and these were gone. They took them all. Technically and by law, by contract, anything that's specifically made for something, stays with the house. Look at these windows here. Are these window sizes your basic average size windows, or are these slightly different, modified? Yeah, they're slightly modified. So if I was to have covers for these, should the covers stay or go? Stay, because they're specifically made for these windows. You're absolutely right. What are they going to do with this? Question.
So after the property records and she goes and finds that they're gone, can she go after the seller?
The seller's probably long gone. Who did you try to go after?
I didn't.
You
I
didn't?
was pissed off.
Yeah. Who did you tell you were ticked off with? Who's the first person you told?
My husband.
Your husband. Who did your husband call? Your husband must have called your realtor.
We didn't do anything.
No?
We should have done, but we didn't.
Let me explain something real quick. I actually had a listing once. Back there, seller. I had the seller. We were listing the house. We were selling it. It sold. Got into escrow. 30 to 45 days. Gone. Recorded. It was a good day. The day I recorded, I'll never forget it. I was very happy. Oh, we're done with this. Good. It was one of those modern houses, built in 2005 or something. Went and handed the keys to the buyer's agent. I said, buyer's agent, here's your keys. Go ahead and give them to your buyer. It was great doing business with you. Shook our hands. Maybe we'll cross paths again soon. Within half an hour, she called me back frantic. I said, what? I thought this was a good day. She called me back. She said, Rico, you're not going to believe this. I said, what's going on? Your sellers took every single mini blind in the whole house. I'm like, what? Why would he do that? Same reason you said. Why would he take those mini blinds? Those mini blinds were specifically made for that house. I couldn't believe it. Now, I knew that if I didn't get those mini blinds back, who was going to have to pay for it? I was. So who was my first phone call to? My seller. I said, hey, you're killing me here. What are you doing with the blinds? He said, well, I thought I could take them. I said, where are you going to use them? You're moving into an apartment. He was moving into an apartment. I said, what are you doing with them? I said, listen, you got half an hour to get those things back there, because by contract, they need to be back on that house. Did he take them back to the house? Yeah. He sure did. But did he hang them up? No. He left them in a big pile in the center of the living room. But we got them back. I should have, as an agent, again, learned through my mistakes, I should have explained to who? My seller. These blinds stay with the property. Haste makes waste. I should have taken my time and explained clearly how this works. Never take for granted that, oh, he knows what we're doing. Oh, he knows what we're doing. Many times they don't. How many of you here know what escrow? How many of you before this session knew what escrow was? Some of you, how many of you here did not know what escrow was? Yes, we sometimes think people, they'll know what escrow is. Oh, they know what this is. They know what title is. We think they do, but they don't. Be patient, take your time, and explain it clearly. Question?
If the curtains are custom made for the house, I mean, they're detachable, you can move them. They're real property or personal? Are they personal still, since technically?
No, they're real. We just explained they're real.
Are they curtains or?
Oh, curtains. You're talking about curtains. Yeah, curtains are what? Real. No, curtains. Curtains are personal. They're just hanging. It's like a towel. They're just hanging. How about the curtain rod? It's fixed, so it's probably what? Real. It's the curtain rods are real.
But sometimes they just lay on top. Like the fixtures are, like attached, but the curtain rod you can just take up, right?
Right. If it's attached, it stays. If it's attached, the key word here is what? Attached. All right, next one here. How about this here? Real or personal? Real or personal? What do you say? Edible, yeah. Real or personal? Are you sure? What about we just said this was real. Well, why is this not real? Because it's not attached. Once you take the fruit off of the tree, it now becomes personal. Once we take this projector off of the wall and put it on the table, it now becomes what? Personal. You guys get that concept? Good. Bottom line. The lesson is this. When in doubt, write it out. Please take that with you forever and ever and what? Ever. Let's keep going here. Land description here. Real quick on land description. I'm not too keen on this, but I want you to know a little bit about land description. It's a system of describing land for new territories, states, and public lands. What they do is this. They get a big grid, and they divide the big grid up into lines. The lines are looking like this. These lines going this way are called the meridian lines. The lines going east-west are called baselines. Each one of these lines, here's the key information. Each of these lines, when we're making townships, ready, are 6 miles apart. 6 miles apart. How many miles apart? 6. Good. Let's go back again. I want you to know these here for the rest of your real estate career. There's going to be so many sizes in real estate. People measure in meters. Some people measure in all kinds of different things. But I want you to know these here. These will definitely help you with your real estate career. How many feet in a mile? 5280 feet in a mile. The next one is one I really want you to know. 43,560 square feet is 1 acre. Well, how the heck are you going to remember that number? It's going to be roughly 44,000 square feet. Let's go 44,000. Roughly 44,000 square feet is what? Acre. 1 acre. 44,000 square feet is what? 1 acre. Now, why is that important in a real estate career? Well, aside from that, but why is that important in your career? Why is 44,000 square feet, 1 acre roughly, important?
Because people kind of want to have a basis for their parcel size of property.
Well, yeah. This is the deal. That's a good point. Who's back there? Seller. When you are representing a seller and you're going to sell their property and you happen to go to the title page where it describes, it's called a property profile. $5 bill is what? $5 bill. Property profile, what is it? Profile on the property. Got it? Tells everything about the property. Square feet of the house, square feet of the land, everything. When it was bought, when it was built, everything. Anyways, we look at it and it says there, you're going to sell their house, and it says there, this is 11,000 square foot lot. Is that big or is that small? It's 11,000 square feet. Now, if I was to promote this to you, and I put it on the MLS, and I put it out to the internet, because I want to sell this house, and I want to tell the whole public about this house, especially the land, and I tell the whole world, hey, come buy this house, it's 11,000 square feet. We really can't picture 11,000 square feet. But if I was to tell the whole world, hey, this house, come buy this house, it's 1/4 of an acre, which one sounds more? Doesn't it? Why? It's the same thing.
It's harder to visualize.
That's right, because it's easier to digest. We just say the word acre and it sounds what? Big. Come buy this house, it's on 1/4 of an acre. Oh man, that's huge. Come buy this house, it's 11,000 square feet. Is that, honey, is that big or is that, I don't know. What's the average? I don't know. But it's 1/4 of an acre. Oh, that's. This is what I want you to know. Sometimes it's better to describe your land as acreage. What if it's 20,000 square feet? How can we promote 20,000 square feet?
Half an acre.
Hey, it's almost half an acre. That sounds great. What if it's 30,000 square feet? Hey, it's almost 3/4 of an acre. That's huge. I can picture that. 3/4. Oh man, if an acre is huge, 3/4. That should be huge. Yeah, so I want you to know that for sure. And then 640 acres. Just so you know, this is kind of fun. 640 acres is 1 square mile. Let's keep going here. We already talked about this. It looks like this. East-west is baseline. Just think base. Typical bottom, the base holds it. So the base of something will hold something so it doesn't tip over. The base line is east-west. And north-south is meridian. What's east-west? Who's dead center? Who's dead center? Over there. Over here. Give me escrow definition, please. A, neutral, third party. That was horrible. Wait, ready? 1, 2, 3. A, neutral, third party that protects the integrity of the transaction. This thing up here, personal or real?
Real.
We just talked about it. Real or personal?
Real.
Put it on the table. Nice. Curtains specifically for this window.
Oh, specifically.
Specifically for this window. Real. Hey, come on. Don't get nervous on me, huh?
Say curtains.
I say curtains? Sorry. Trick question. I meant to say that. How about the bundle of rights? What do we got? What's you? What's the next one? Possess. What's the next one? Transfer. What's the next one? Give me an example of encumber. Take a loan out. What's the next E? Enjoy. Good. Here's what it looks like when it comes to the APN number. Every lot has an ID number. We don't call it an ID number. Every lot has a, what does a car have? A VIN. Every car has a VIN number. We don't call that. We call these APN numbers. Question, what does APN stand for? Good. Assessor's parcel number. And every lot has one, just like this one has one here. And it's the confirmation, that's the confirmation number for a property. Boom, there it is. Hey, what house are you selling? I'm selling APN number 440760003. Now, believe it or not, all right, I'm gonna fess up. Believe it or not, there were a couple of times, only twice, all right, maybe three, where I wrote an offer, and I put the address 1234 Main Street, and then I put the wrong APN number, so it didn't match. And Escrow catches that. Escrow says, "Hey, Rico, what are you selling? Are you guys buying the APN number, or are you guys buying the address? Which is it?" Because I had them wrong. Be careful when you write your offers. Make sure that the right APN number is with what? The right address. Because when you have them incorrect, it can cause a bit of trouble. I don't do that anymore, though. Now I confirm it. Hey, so that in a nutshell is what we start off with finance. We'll get more into the actual finance and with the lender coming up soon. But for now, you guys are getting the hang of it. And the reason this is important when it comes to finance is because when you are buying property, when the lender's giving you money, when the lender's giving the buyer money to buy a house, they expect certain things to stay with that house. You understand that, right? They expect what to stay with that house? Real property. And this is why we need to know this.